G'day everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to do a little talk. Now you'll see the cables haven't got guns and all that crap all over it. I'm going to have a little bit of a yap today about just general cartridges and bullet loads. Just over the years how things have changed and developed, and some for the good, some for not so good. Okay, so and we have a bit of a talk about something else at the end of this. So let's get started now. We'll talk about cartridge density and speed. Like, okay, back in the day there was obviously there was less bullets available, less projectile selections, etc., and reloading could be reasonably rudimentary. And a lot of it, I remember doing it with my dad when I was 10 years old, and a lot of it was make it up as you go along. You know, some things you messed up and overloaded things and underloaded things, etc. But things progressed, and we've got to the stage today where it's all fairly safe. We all seem to, you pick up what you're doing. There's lots and lots of tutoring on it now. Like years ago it was these things. Now there's an old Hornady book from about 1979. Another Nosler book, that's an old one, and you can get them all in like Nick Harvey's book. And we've got the old ADI book. I've got another old ADI book in there from 1994 or something like that. A lot of it's still the same. Your load, certain load characteristics and charges don't change because they're tried and true, and they've been worked on. And these are a starting point only. Like maximum loads are maximum loads, and you get up towards that. Don't stray too much past it. Once you start getting past maximum loads and things, you really start to get out into that no man's land where you're on your own. Like they say, there's old reloaders and there's bold reloaders, but there's very, very few old bold reloaders. Because remember, when you go bang, you've got something like anything up to a 50,000 plus PSI explosion going off next to your face. That's one thing you always got to consider. So cartridge speed, and this all I saw this firsthand in clay target shooting. I did that from the 80s, and I've done it for a long time, and I've given it away now because I'm just not interested in it basically anymore. But people in the 90s became obsessed, absolutely obsessed to the point of distraction with cartridge speed. And we shot back in the 80s, we shot the old Winchester AA 300s, AA 350s. Ammunition speed, what's that? They were all the minimum you used to shoot for down the line shooting or skeet shooting or simulated field, etc. was a 32 gram load or an ounce and an eighth load. You loaded it yourself. We used to make our own shot and all that sort of thing. And these things, they were fairly going. You a day at the range, a day at the gun club, you knew you'd done a day, and you had a bruised face and what have you and that. But those cartridges hit hard. But the downside of that is you can't shoot them all day. It just knocks you out. So in the 90s, and much again with the advent of the internet, when that sort of stormed onto the scene, and that's where everybody goes. You get most of the stuff you'll find in these reloading manuals. A lot of that you can get online somewhere, and you'll get lots of instruction on YouTube and videos like this, presenters like this who do different things with anything to do with guns and that. Or if you really want to get excited, you can get all your reloading information as well as all your medical advice and your social advice off Facebook, because that place is just full of these people. So there we go. But the old ounce and an eighth loads for clay target shooting, down the line, common mark clay target shooting, skeet shooting were the norm. Then everything went down to 28 gram load, ounce loads. This is no good. Oh, blah, blah, blah. It's no good. It's the end of the world. Oh, it's going to be the end of shooting as we know it. Well, guess what? The score's improved. Why? Because cartridges, you could shoot them more. You could shoot more through the day. You weren't tired at the end of the day like you've been bashed around by Mike Tyson. And then the Olympic disciplines went down to 7/8 of an ounce, 24 gram. Oh, that's the end of the world. Oh, they'll never hit anything. Scores improved again because people could, and the scores in the ladies and the juniors improved again because the cartridges weren't as punchy. So people have started, but the old The old stalwarts, oh no, we can't have this, oh, you know, the patterns are all different. I can tell you it's crap. It's crap. The difference between 28 gram load and 24 gram load in number 7.5 shot is about 47 pellets, which is about half your fingernail. If that's the difference between you hitting a target and missing a target, Sunbeam, you're in awful trouble. I'd think about taking up golf. That's what I'd do. So everyone became obsessed with this cartridge speed. I heard they were trying 20 gram loads. I don't know if that's done anything yet, yay or no. I don't know. I really don't know. But this has also crept into the hunting scene now. All your ammunition now you buy has all got target speed on it. Now that's a 7.5 shot clay target load, 1290 feet a second. That's 1 ounce, 28 gram, 1290 feet a second. That's plenty. That's plenty for all common mark down the line shooting. That is plenty for all skeet shooting and most simulated field shooting. That's absolutely plenty for that. And now you can get 1300 feet a second pushing 7/8 of an ounce. It's actually quite nice to shoot, believe it or not. And it's not hard to shoot like people say, oh, you've got to be closer. No, you don't. It's all rubbish. And then you go up to your buckshot, 15 feet a second. Not overly worried about big boomers like that because you're not going to shoot 200 of them in a day. Not going to happen. And even in the centerfire rifle cartridges now, everything's got a target speed on it. Everything's got a target speed. Rimfire, 17 HMR, 25-50 feet a second. What are these? Winchester Defenders with the slug and the 3 buckshot, 1150 feet a second. Now see, that's markedly slower than that, but I'll tell you, that'll knock over anything that's meant for. That'll knock a pig ass overhead. That's 150, 160 feet a second difference. Means nothing. Means absolutely nothing. 22 Magnum, Winchester jacketed hollow points, 2250 feet a second. Yeah, everything's got cartridge speed on it. I'm going to put my winkers on so I can see. Here's some old ammo I found somewhere. 22 Magnum Rimfire 50 jacketed hollow point, Winchester Super X. Look all over that box. Not a target speed on it because that's old stuff. That's picked that up at Cleves. I'd say that's probably some of Granddad's old ammo that Nana surrendered when Granddad died. That's how that all finishes up back in the market. But I looked at that. That's all in pristine condition. That's nothing's been wet, so that'll go bang when I want it to. That's fine. But interestingly enough, no cartridge speed whatsoever back then, and nobody cared. This sold like wildfire. Nobody cared. Everyone wants to be scientific about it. You don't need to be. Go back to clay target shooting. Oh, it has to be 1325 feet per second. People were absolutely obsessed. That's all they talked about around gun clubs. It was ridiculous. Had to be 1325 feet a second or 1350 feet a second, or it's no good. It's 1310 feet a second. Let's say that 40 feet a second. Oh, that was going to be the end of the world. At shooting distance, 40 feet per second difference out of a cartridge is the target moving that far. And honestly, if that's your difference, you might want to look somewhere else for your enjoyment. It's as simple as that. Now with these rifle cartridges, say a 270, we'll say 130 grain 270 cartridge for argument's sake, it's going to be doing give or take around 3,000 feet per second. There is no 270, like I'll use a 273 as an example, there is no 270 cartridge that's going to be manufactured that is not fast enough, that hits hard enough, that's not going to knock down what you aim at. It just doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. You know, like if you're trying to say knock over a pig or a deer with a 270, whatever, it is going to be fast enough to knock him over. It's not going to bounce off him. It's not going to, oh God, that was 500 feet a second slower. I think I'll walk away. It doesn't happen like that. And people are absolutely obsessed. If you're loading bullets, get up to your maximum, and then your as a rule, bullets, centerfire cartridges perform up towards their maximum recommended loads. Maybe right up there, maybe a grain and a half, maybe down, but it's up there. It's up there somewhere. That's where you'll get your best loading. Shoot, load up, muck around your seating depths a little bit. Shoot and shoot groups, and whatever group's best, that's what you use. It's as simple as that. Like that 30 feet a second, that half a grain of powder, it's not, in reality, I'll tell you, it will not make a shit of difference. It will not. That will not change whether you hit something or miss something. It's as simple as that. So that's basically my thoughts on cartridge speed. I think it's a myth that it's the be all and end all of everything. And the last point I make, and again, I'm talking purely from a point of view of hunting ammunition. The last thing you ever want to use is a chronograph. People, again, obsessed with chronographs to measure their speed. It will put that much rubbish into your head. And that was the hardest thing about clay target shooting. All the rubbish that was floating around, you've got to get it all out of your head because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You don't want to be aiming at Mr. Pig and then think, oh, is that 10 feet slower? You just get all this rubbish in your head, you'll miss the thing by 1,000 miles. So, again, if you're using precision, if you're shooting precision, if you're shooting long range, by all means, you're going to do that. It's all about your BC and all that rubbish, and that's not my bag. That's not my bag. I don't play that game. But if that's your bag, go for your life. But in terms of hunting ammunition, find a round that your rifle likes, a projectile it likes, to be pushed by a load it likes, and get that. If it's 20, 30, 50, 100 feet a second slower, so be it. It is still going to be effective. It is still going to be effective. So there we go. That's my thoughts on the world tonight. Now, before we go, merch has arrived. Get yourself a shirt, get yourself a stubby holder. It looks to go, so I'll sign off. You can tell your wife, you can tell your girlfriend, you can buy them both a shirt. If you like, it's up to you. It's great, but either way, just go 2 clicks up. Ta-da.